Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. My name is Sophia, and today I want to share my journey of learning to speak English. This story is simple and clear so you can listen, enjoy, and learn English too. I believe stories are the best way to learn because they make language fun and easy to remember. When I was little, I was scared of speaking English. It felt like standing in front of a big, dark mountain that I didn't know how to climb. My heart would race every time I had to say something in English. I lived in a small town where most people spoke our local language, so English felt like a faraway land, impossible to reach. In school, my teacher often asked us to read aloud or answer questions in English. I always kept my head down, hoping she wouldn't call my name. But sometimes, she did. My hands would get sweaty, my face would turn red, and my words would come out all wrong. Some kids laughed, which made me feel even worse. At home, I avoided my English homework because I thought it was too hard. Even when I tried, the words felt strange on my tongue. Watching TV shows or listening to people speak English fluently made me feel small, like I could never be like them. One day, a friend asked me, "Why don't you talk more in class?" I sighed and said, "I'm scared I'll make mistakes." She smiled and said, "But mistakes are how we learn." Her words stayed with me, but I wasn't ready to believe them. Deep inside, I wished I could speak English like the people on TV or my teachers at school. I wanted to express myself confidently, but at that time, it felt impossible. As I grew older, things started to change. One day, my mother brought me a letter from a school in the city. They had an exchange program where students could visit other countries to learn about different cultures. It sounded so exciting, but there was one problem: everything had to be in English. I wanted to go so badly. My heart was full of dreams about making new friends, seeing new places, and learning amazing things. But then, fear crept back in. How will I talk to people if I can't even say one proper sentence in English? My mom noticed my worry and gently said, "Sophia, English is like a key. If you learn to use it, it can open doors to the whole world." Her words made me think. I realized that English wasn't just a subject in school, it was a way to connect with people, share ideas, and grow. The next day, my teacher told the class, "Speaking English is not about being perfect. It's about being brave enough to try." Something clicked inside me. I started noticing how many things in my life were in English: books, songs, signs, even phone apps. English was not just a language, it was a bridge to the future I dreamed of. I thought of all the times I had missed opportunities because of my fear. I didn't want to lose more chances. So, I made a decision: I would learn to speak English, no matter how scared I felt. Learning English was a big challenge, but I didn't have to do it alone. I told my mom about my decision. She smiled and said, "Let's make a plan together." She got me a small English dictionary and a book with short stories. At school, I asked my English teacher for advice. She was so kind and said, "Start small. Learn a few words every day. Practice speaking with someone you trust." She even offered to help me after school. I also told my best friend about my goal. She was excited and said, "Let's practice together." We started having short conversations in English. Sometimes, we used hand gestures and laughed when we didn't know the right words. My favorite part was watching cartoons in English. At first, I didn't understand much, but the pictures helped. I learned how characters said simple things like "hello" and "thank you." Slowly, I started copying them. One day, my mom surprised me with a notebook. "Write your thoughts in English," she said. I started with short sentences like, "Today is sunny." Over time, my sentences grew longer. The more I practiced, the less scared I felt. I realized it was okay to ask for help. People around me were happy to support me because they saw how much I wanted to learn. Learning English wasn't always easy. Some days were frustrating. I would forget words or say things wrong. But I kept going. I remembered my mom's words, "The only way to climb a mountain is one step at a time." I made a habit of speaking English every day. In the morning, I would greet my mom with, "Good morning." At school, I answered questions in English. Even if my sentences weren't perfect. My teacher always encouraged me. Reading books helped a lot. I started with simple stories like The Cat and the Mouse. If I didn't know a word, I looked it up in my dictionary. Slowly, I began understanding more. My friend and I played games in English. We pretended to be shopkeepers and customers. She would say, "What would you like to buy?" and I would reply, "I want some apples, please." It was so much fun. One of my favorite activities was singing English songs. I loved repeating the words and trying to match the tune. It didn't matter if my voice wasn't perfect, it made me happy and confident. Every time I practiced, I felt a little stronger. I realized that mistakes weren't bad, they were steps forward. Months of practice brought big changes. One day, my teacher asked me to give a short speech in class. I was nervous but excited. I took a deep breath and began, "My name is Sophia. I love learning new things." The words flowed better than I expected. When I finished, everyone clapped. After that, I started participating more. I joined an English club at school, where we played games, acted in plays, and shared stories. My confidence grew with every activity. The biggest moment came when I finally visited the city for the exchange program. I met students from different countries. At first, I was shy. But then I remembered my teacher's advice, "Be brave." I introduced myself and asked questions like, "What's your favorite food?" To my surprise, they understood me and smiled. By the end of the program, I could hold full conversations. It felt like magic. I was no longer afraid of English. I loved it. Now, I tell everyone, if I can learn, so can you. English is not about being perfect. It's about trying, practicing, and never giving up. This is my story. I hope it inspires you to start your own journey. Remember, learning English is like planting a seed. Water it with practice and patience, and one day, it will grow into a beautiful tree. You can do it. Believe in yourself and take the first step today.